question. Kasi sinabi nga sa akin ni Andrea, tsaka ni Nina, na may instruction si Presidente. Kasi every year, may 100 billion si Presidente. Hindi ko nga nasasabi yun eh. Every year, pati 2026 may 100 billion.
Katapusan na ba dito ni Bangag? Oh, heto. Hinubaran ho ng Korte Suprema ang pagmumukha ni Bongbong Marcos sa nangyayaring oral argument kanina sa Supreme Court patungkol po dito sa GAA sa mga insertion ng gobyernong Marcos, lalo na po dito sa unprogrammed funds dahil lumalabas ang pinakaswapang sa unprogrammed funds at ang pinakabuwaya ay walang iba, champion dyan, ang Marcos admin. Soljen ni Bangag, gisado ng maestrado. Talagang hindi ho pinaporma itong Soljen ni Bungit. At lumabas rin po ang katotohanan patungkol sa magkano po, no? Mismong inilabas ni Justice Marvick Leonin kung magkano yung insertion ng gobyernong Marcos, kung magkano yung diferensya ng unprogrammed funds from National Expenditure Program hanggat sa General Appropriation Bill sa BICAM hanggat sa nagiging tuluyan na pong GAA na perbado ng Bangag. Naku, maano kayo dito? Mabubuisit lang kayo dito. At ito, mukhang may bagong pasabog po itong si Saldico. Saldi mo. Nakasabuat sa paglilima sa kaban ng bayan ng gobyernong Marcos at ni Martin Romualdez Tambaloslos. May nilabas po na audio recorded itong si Mike Defensor kanina po sa kanyang social media na ang pinag-uusapan po nila dito ay flood control at bilyon-bilyon na insertion. Patay kabungit. Magandang tanghali, magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Palike mo muna, pa-share, pa-subscribe at pakipindot po ang inyong mga notification bell para lagi po kayong updated sa ating mga video. At Bisdak Historiador, pa-subscribe. Sana po, ito na ho ang maglilinaw, no? At sana hindi ito pagtakpan ng Supreme Court ang katotohanan tungkol po sa paglilimas sa kaban ng bayan ng gobyernong nakatabing yan pa nga. Pero unahin po muna natin ipalabas yung banat ni Jokno, no? Dahil dito inilabas ni Jokno kung sino po yung pinakaswapang patungkol po dito sa unprogrammed funds. Ang laki ng diferensya, mga kabistak. Pakinggan po natin itong oral argument sa Korte Suprema patungkol sa unprogrammed funds.
Justice, Your Honors, good morning, still morning, right? Allow me to present my comments on the pending Supreme Court petitions questioning certain provisions on unprogrammed appropriations in the 2024, 2025, and 2026 General Appropriations Act. As former Senior Undersecretary and Secretary of Budget and Management, I have prepared 13 of the 39 post-EDSA 1 Revolution national budgets, including the first and only budget under the Freedom Constitution. Notably, the 1987 budget already contained unprogrammed appropriations. From 2026, from 2005 to 2026, Congress approved unprogrammed appropriations exceeding those proposed by the President only 5 times. In 2010, under President Arroyo, in 2022, under President Duterte, and from 2023 to 2025 under President Marcos Jr. The increases over the last 3 years, however, have been particularly large. So those are encircled there. Back, please. The blue line is the one in the NEP, and the red line is the one approved by Congress. This is not to argue that Congress may increase the unprogrammed appropriations as requested by the executive. This is only meant to reflect the monumental abuses done by Congress during the last 3 years, 2023, 2024, and 2025 national budgets.
Nako.
By design, unprogrammed appropriations serve as standby appropriations. The budget planning, preparation, and authorization process is complex and time-consuming. For example, preparation for the 2026 budget began as early as January 2025 with a budget call. Now, some foreign assisted projects, which may be seen as the most senior of all budget items since they undergo a series of studies, are considered but not completed or approved a year prior to the start. PAPs are among the most rigorously evaluated budget items. Let me repeat that. The foreign assisted projects are among the most rigorously evaluated budget items. They undergo pre-feasibility study, feasibility studies, detailed engineering, and a review of the internal rate of return threshold by the NEDA Investment Coordination Committee. Now, despite their merit, these projects risk delay due to the constitutional requirement that no money shall be paid out of the Treasury except in pursuance on appropriation made by law. So delays in the implementation are costly, and they result in the payment of commitment fees to multilateral financial institutions. That's why we have standby appropriations for foreign assisted projects. Now, the national budget is the most consequential piece of legislation enacted by Congress. In a tripartite system of government, the executive branch is generally understood to have a comprehensive view of national priorities, better access to domestic and global data, superior assessment of bureaucratic capacity and revenue potential, and a broader perspective and better appreciation of deficit levels and debt sustainability. Congress, which holds the power of the purse, directly represents the people. No offense meant to our former legislators here, but legislators often have a more localized, particularistic view, focusing on deliverables for their respective constituencies. And so this may be the rationale for the constitutional provision that Congress may not enact a budget larger than what was proposed by the President,
Correct.
the budget of expenditures and sources of financing. Now, let me go directly to the unprogrammed appropriations.
Ito na.
The size of the unprogrammed appropriations is driven mainly by the number and the amount of foreign assisted projects not included in the proposed budget, but likely to become effective during the forthcoming fiscal year. It also depends on the likelihood that actual revenues will exceed projections in the BSF.
Maliwanag po talaga kasi sa saligang batas na kapag ang isinumpiti na National Expenditure Program ng executive ay hindi po pwede yan dagdagan, pwede pong bawasan. Ang nangyari po dito sa bangag admin, taon-taon ay dinadagdagan, napakalaking dinagdag. Diyan pa lang ay illegal na ho. Tuloy lang natin si Joke, no? Ay, sorry, di pala. Oh. Ito. Tingnan nyo po, ipapaliwanag niya yung national, yung unprogrammed funds, kung magkano ho yung diferensya sa panahon ni former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte at ngayon naman sa panahon ni Bangag. Si Bangag po yung swapang pinakamataas na unprogrammed funds sa kasaysayan. Simula 1987, meron na palang ganyan.
Historically, deviations between projected and actual revenues have ranged from negative, in other words, we have actually under-collected rather than over-collected, 19.2%, that happened during the COVID years, understandably, to 10.6% in 2021. There is a wide variation in program appropriations as a share of the total budget across administrations. It was highest under President Marcos Jr.
Nako,
at 9% and lowest under President Duterte at 3.9%.
aray ko, bangag, ayan na ho. Highest po kay Bongbong Marcos. Aninagin natin. Anak ng kagwang kay Bongbong Marcos. Lepitan natin kasi medyo maliit ang numero. Sindiya na, hindi kaya ng eyeglass ko. 9.0% kay Bongbong Marcos ang unprogrammed funds na noong 2023 hanggang 2026. Animal ka bangag! Kay Tatay Digong naman, pinaka-lowest is 3.9%. Mataas pa nga ho si Arroyo at si Aquino. Ayan sa panahon nila 5.2 kay Aquino, 5.9 kay Arroyo. Kay Tatay Digong 3.9, kay Bangag grabe ang taas ng tinalon 9.0%. Unprogrammed funds. Walang pandemya, anak ng kagwa, ngayon lang naman nagka-crisis Ang pinag-uusapan dito 2023, 2024, 2025. Utang naglimas talaga itong hinayupak na Marcos admin. Ganun ho kaswapang ang mga animal. Basta Marcos kawatan. Kung sabihin nyo fake news, sa Supreme Court na po to ha. Tuloy natin
Finally, on whether Congress validly increased or earmarked funds for the Road Users Fund by reallocating items in the 2025 General Appropriations Act, the Department of Public Works, let me, full disclosure,
Dali.
I worked for the abolition of the Road Users Board. It was a good law, but the way it was implemented was anomalous during the GMA years. So I moved for the abolition of the Road Users Fund, board rather, but the fund remains. And so under the current system, the Department of Public Works and Highways alone determines the available road users fund for the fiscal year, the required expenditures for road maintenance, and that of course depends on a formula, the length of the existing roads, the need for maintenance every 5 years for good roads, and maybe annual for the poor roads, and of course also the operational capacity of the DPWH. This amount is incorporated by the Department of Budget and Management into the President's budget, with a commitment of the DPWH Secretary during the Cabinet meeting, approximately 1 month before the opening of Congress. That is the last Cabinet meeting to tackle the budget. The DPWH Secretary is committed to the President as to the amount of that road users fund. And this is prior to the BSF and the National Expenditure Program. Given this process, the basis for increasing allocations beyond what was proposed by the executive is unclear. And so the next table will show you the deviations.
Ito na.
The President proposed in 2022 15 that's billion, 15.192 billion. Well, Congress reduced it. That's in accordance with the Constitution. Congress may not increase, but may decrease. In 2023,
Ito 2022 sa panahon ni Tatay Digong. So ngayon yung National Expenditure Program ay nagkaroon ng increase pagdating sa GAA. Nagkaroon ng pag-decrease pagdating sa GAA. So ito ay sumunod sa saligang batas. So medyo maayos pa yung 2022 budget. Pagdating kay Bangag, dali tayo dito nyo.
the President proposed 15.192 billion. Congress increased it to 21.231 billion, or 39% increase.
Aray ko.
24, the President or the DPWH Secretary and approved by the President asked for 15.2 billion. Congress increased it to 24.5 billion. Or
Unprogrammed funds po ito unprogrammed funds. So ngayon, ito 15 noong sa National Expenditure 15 billion yung ni-request ni Bangag. Pagdating sa GAA, nagiging 21 billion yung 2023. So yung increase, mga 40%. Sana all! Pagdating naman po sa 2024, aninagin natin ng konti kasi medyo maliit. 15 billion ang request, nagiging 24 billion. Nag-increase ng 61%. Putang inumin. Nasarap. Ang laki ng diferensya sa 2025 naman, 16.75 mga 17 billion ang request. Anak ng kagwang ginawang 34 billion. Agay ko. 107.4% ang in-increase ng mga buhaya pagdating sa GAA. Anak ng kamutit. Pagdating ng 2026, ay, anak ng kamote, konti na, hindi nag-increase, din-increase na nila, sumunod na ng 2026. Kanina bisto ng mga kawatan. Yung 2023, 2024, 2025, sagana ang mga animal. Nung nabisto na, ito na, nagka-decrease na, yaward. So, pumaldo na sila ng 2023, 2024, at 2025. Itong 2025 talaga, grabe, 107.4% ang in-increase ng unprogrammed funds sa namamatay ng mga kurakot. Tuloy lang natin ang konti,
Or 61.2% increase.
Mm.
In 2025, 16.755 billion. That was the request of the President. Congress increased it by 107.4%
Diyos ko.
to 34.748 billion. Equivalent to 33.4 billion for the 3 years.
Mhm.
That is approximately equivalent to 66,800 school rooms.
Grabe.
500,000 per school room. In my view, these increases is inconsistent with the constitutional provision that Congress may not increase the appropriations recommended by the President for the operation of the government as specified in the budget. Thank you very much.
Nako, ito na ho, yung maliwanag ha. 2023. Ito ha, 2022 maayos yung budget sa unprogram funds po yun ha, pinag-uusapan. Negative pa nga pagdating sa GAA kay Tatay Digong. Pagdating ng 2023, 2024, 2025, itong 3 taon ni Bangag, talagang nagpakasasa ang mga buhaya sa unprogram funds. Talagang nilimas po nila ng todo. At ito ay nilabag nila ang saligang batas. Ito po yung maliwanag dyan. Ayan po. Comments of Supreme Court petition question. Sa unprogram funds po ito. Unprogram funds pa lang ang pinag-uusapan. Paano na lang ho kung ang pinag-uusapan ay yung kabuang pondo? Ito, pakinggan po natin itong si Justice Marvic Leonin dahil ginisa po niya dito yung Suljin ni Bangag. Nako, ang hirap dipinsahan pa naman ang kawatan. Ito pakinggan natin.
Now, just to start off, so there is what is called a the budget of expenditures and sources of funds. This is called the BESF, just so we are familiar with the terminology. And the BESF is a part of the NEP, the National Expenditure Program, correct?
Mhm.
And the National Expenditure Program contains the BESF, the Budget for Expenditures and Sources of Funds, and a
Itong namang binanat ni Marvic Leonin, saan program funds pa rin po ito. No? At ipinakita lang po niya dito sa publiko kung magkano ho yung diferensya talaga ng unprogram funds from National Expenditure Program hanggang sa General Appropriation Bill hanggang sa nagiging General Appropriation Act. Pakinggan po natin.
more detailed listing of the expenditures divided by purpose and divided by classification, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, plus the automatic appropriation
Yes.
only for information.
Yes. Yes, and it seems that is one of the issues that we have also for this case. That from your perspective, there are three parts. There is the program, there is the unprogrammed, and there is the automatic appropriation. But on the other end, they are classifying it only as programmed and unprogrammed. But that nonetheless, just so we are familiar with the figures. And then there is what is called a total expenditures for the program, a TEP, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is the total amount for the NEP that is proposed by the budget of the President, correct?
Yes, sir.
Just so we're clear, the NEP, the National Expenditure Program, is otherwise called the President's budget, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And after the President's budget goes through the House of Representatives, the House of Representatives produce a General Appropriations Bill, or what is often referred to as the GAB, correct?
Yes, sir.
And after that, it is given to the Senate, and in the Senate, they just call it the bill on third reading, correct?
Yes, sir.
And after that, if there are disagreeing provisions, they call a bicameral conference committee or a BCC. And this BCC, therefore, produces a proposed resolution where both houses will ratify, correct?
Yes, sir.
And from there, they produce the General Appropriations Act for the signature of the President, correct?
Yes, sir.
And after the GAA, the President exercises a different kind of veto. We will examine that later, which is called a line item veto, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the President signs the GAA within a set time. Otherwise, it will be reenacted. But along with the signature, the President formally communicates his vetoed items to the House and the Senate, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the House and the Senate may overturn the veto based on the Constitution by a 2/3 vote, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, do you recall the amount of unprogrammed funds
Patay.
proposed in the NEP, National Expenditure Program, of the President in 2024 for unprogrammed? You recall the amount?
Yes, Your Honor. I have it in my notes. The unprogrammed appropriation proposed by the President in the NEP for 2024 was 281
281
281
billion 908 million 056, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. How much was the approved on third reading in the GAP, the General Appropriations Bill of the House, in terms of unprogrammed appropriations?
Your Honor, I only have what's in the GAA.
It was 281 billion 908 million and 56, similar to the NEP. Would you know how much, in terms of unprogrammed appropriations, did the Senate approve before the BICAM? Again, it was 281 billion 908 056. So as far as we are concerned, in 2024, which is the subject of the petition of Lagman et al. And Pimentel et al., the NEP was 281 billion, the GAB was 281 billion, the Senate was 281 billion, correct?
Correct.
And how much was the proposal of the BICAM when it met to conciliate disagreeing provisions? How much in unappropriated, unprogrammed appropriations?
Your Honor, it is 731 billion 448.
So it was 731 billion. Okay?
Yes.
And just so we are clear, let's show the slide. So
Okay, bantayan nyo po itong slides na ito dahil magugulat kayo dito. Talagang ginago po ng gobyernong Marcos ng todo ang mga Pilipino. Ito pakinggan natin si Leonin. Ito 2024 na unprogrammed funds na pinag-uusapan. Tingnan nyo po, wag nyo pong anuhin yung mga mata nyo. Titigan nyo ng maayos.
so everybody knows what we are talking about. So up there, you will see now NEP 281, GAB 281, Senate 281, BICAM 731. Correct?
Correct.
Madam Soljen. And per your argument, this is something that we should respect because it is an act of wisdom on the part of both houses to increase what was not debated upon from 281 to 731, meaning that there was a difference of 449.5 billion
Grabe,
added
laki.
into unprogrammed appropriations, correct?
May I qualify my answer?
Yes,
Your
yes,
Honor?
please, go ahead.
It is a question of wisdom, because when we say an act of wisdom, it might be ambiguous as to there's already a judgment if it was wise
Yes.
or not.
Yes.
And the hope of our hope is for the court to rule on a narrow question as to checking whether the power that was exercised by the Congress is within the constitutionally required constitutional requirements, or if it was within the limitations that are provided by the Constitution, Your Honor.
Okay, I will take that for now. In terms of total expenditures under the NEP, the National Expenditure Program of the President in 2024, would you recall how much it was? It was
Stop muna tayo dito sa program funds muna. Kasi nga, ito tingnan nyo. Yan, klaro na po yung ano yan, numero dyan. National Expenditure Program, ito po ay 2024 ang program funds, ang pinag-uusapan natin ha. Ang proposal ng executive ay 281, no? Billion 908 million 56,000. Yun po yung proposal. Pagdating sa GAB, hindi po nabago. Ito 2024, hindi nabago. Ito yung General Appropriation Bill. Sa Kongreso po ito. 281 billion pa rin, 908 million and 56,000. Tama? Ay, sorry. Tama. Kasi billion na po ito, hindi na po million eh. Sa Senado, hindi rin nabago. 281 billion, 908,000, 908 million, 56,000. Magulat po kayo dahil pagdating sa BICAM, biglang nagiging 731 billion. Tangina, kunti na lang, mag-1 trilyon, no? 448 million, 566,000. Ang difference po nito ay 449 billion, 540 million, 510,000. Alam mo, dito ginaguho tayo eh. Kasi nga, kaya po magkakaroon ka ng BICAM dahil hindi po magkakasundo ang Kongreso at Senado. Pero sa pagkakataong ito, nagkasundo po. No? Nagkasundo po ang Kongreso at Senado sa unprogrammed funds ni Bangag. Kung ano po yung proposal ni Bongbong Marcos na 281 billion 908,000 ay 908 million 56,000. Ulitin natin ha, para hindi masyado tayong malito kasi numero, anak ng kagwang pag numero, nabuang talaga tayo dito. Billion, trillion, no? So ito ay 281 billion pesos, 908 million pesos, 56,000. Ito po yung request ni Bongbong Marcos na sinang-ayunan naman ng GAB sa Kongreso, sinang-ayunan naman ng Senate. Ngayon, magugulat ka, pagdating sa BICAM, biglang nagbago. Nagkaroon ng increase. Dapat ho, hindi nagkaroon ng increase sa BICAM. Kasi nagkasundo man kayo, Senado at Kongreso, pareho naman pa rin numero. So walang pagbabago. So pagdating dapat sa BICAM, ito ay 281 billion pesos, 908 million dapat at 56,000. Pero nagiging 731 billion, 448 million at 566,000. Ang diferensya ay 449 billion pesos, 540 million 510,000. Ganun po kalaki yung diferensya. Tinarantado tayo dito. Dapat hindi ito mangyayari. Kaso nga lang nangyayari. Mantakin mo, ang pinag-uusapan pa natin 2024. Yung 2025, ilang percent yung in-increase? 107%. Tama ba? Yung kaninang video pinalabas natin kay Jokno. Ito ay 2024. So kung titingnan natin, baka mas malaki pa ho. Yung nakulimbat ng mga buhaya sa 2025 dahil ang pinakakurakot na pundo sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa ay 2025. Ganito tayo ginago ng gobyernong ito. Bakit? Ganyan kalaki yung in-increase. Tapos hindi ito makukulong, anak ng kagwang. Ipakulong natin silang lahat. Ang problema ho dito, after dito sa oral argument at nakikitaan po ng mga talagang irregularidad, pangungurakot, may makukulong kaya? May makakasuhan kaya? Kasi si Bongbong Marcos impeachable officer naman yan Kailangan ma-impeach mo na si Bongbong bago makasuhan. Pero dito si Saldico, si Escudero, kasama dito si Romualdez, Grace po, pwede po silang makasuhan kasi sila man ang naghimay-himay ng budget. At paano minagic? No? Nang mga ito yung budget na yan sa 2024. Kasi ang Senate, Congress, nagkasundo pagdating sa BICAM na iba na. Di ba ho yung small committee? Di ba may small committee? Dapat yung small committee, kung sino man kayong mga buhaya kayo, dapat makulong din po kayo. Yan po ang maliwanag dyan. So ngayon, tuloy tayo. Pinag-uusapan pa rin natin yung corruption under Marcos admin. Alam natin, si Saldico, no? Si Martin Romualdez, Bongbong Marcos, ito yung mga kasabwat kung paano limasin ang kaba ng bayan. Pero ito nga, kumanta na nga si Saldico, di ba, kamakailan. At ikwininto niya kung paano po nililimas nila ang pera ng bayan. At ngayong araw, meron pong inilabas itong si Mike Defensor na video. At narito po ang caption sa naturang video bago po natin i-play yung videong ito. Basahin ko po muna yung caption ni Mike Defensor. Sabi ni Mike, pasabog na revelasyon. 100 billion taon-taon. Akala natin isang bisis lang. Pero ang totoo, taon-taon pala ang galawan. Ayon kay Saldico, may 100 billion na pundo si Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. bawat taon hanggang 2026. Ano ang lumalabas na katotohanan? Utos mula sa itaas, inaayos ang listahan ni na Adrian Bersamin at Amina Pangandaman base sa direktang utos ng Pangulo. Flood control na ginagawang taguan. Halos lahat ng pundo noong 2025 itinulak sa flood control kung saan pinakamadaling itago ang anomalya. May ledger, may malita, may galaw ng pera. Hindi ito chismis. May listahan, may dokumento, may malita habang ang taong bayan hirap na hirap sa taas ng bilihin. Ang masakit na katotohanan, habang tayo'y nagtitiis sa mahal na gasolina, kuryente at pagkain, sila naman abala sa pag-aayos ng listahan at paglipat ng pera para sa iilan. Hindi ito serbisyo, ito ay sistematikong nakawan. Hindi na ito gobyerno, isa na itong sindikato ng pamahalaan. Hindi tayo dapat manahimik kung may listahan, may ledger at may malita, may pananagutin. So ito po yung video. Panoorin, video audio, audio recorded. Pakinggan po natin kung ano po ang pinag-uusapan dito sa audyong ito. Narito po.
Alam ka naman kay Adrian yun. Kasi sinabi nga sa akin ni Adrian, tsaka ni Nina, na may instruction si Presidente. Kasi every year, may 100 billion si Presidente. Hindi ko nga Nasasabi yun every year. Pati 2026 may 100 billion. Kaya nga, loko-loko nga eh. Tapos alam mo ba sinubmit niya? Lahat flood control yung 2025. Sabi ko, wag naman buong 100 flood control. Portion, kaya binalitan ni Adrian yung listahan.
Kita nyo yung sindikato? Si Bongbong Marcos, may 100 billion. Taon-taon, anak ng kamote. I-replay natin konti para mas maliwanag. Oh.
So, alam naman kay Adrian yun. Kaya utos yun. Kasi sinabi nga sa akin ni Adrian, tsaka ni Nina, na may instruction si Presidente. Kasi every year, may 100 billion si Presidente. Hindi ko nga nasasabi yun every year. Pati 2026 may 100 billion. Kaya nga, loko-loko nga eh. Tapos alam mo ba sinubmit niya? Lahat flood control yung 2025. Sabi ko, wag naman buong 100 flood control. Portion, kaya binalitan ni Adrian yung listahan.
Yan, maliwanag. Mukhang latest po ito ha. Na audio recorded. Latest kasi may nabanggit siya na 2026. So ang kasunduan pala dito sa mga buhaya sa Kongreso, sina Bongbong Marcos, kung paniwalaan natin, itong audio recorded na ipinalabas ni Mike Defensor, 100 billion pesos taon-taon na kickback ay dapat mapunta kay Bongbong Marcos. Putang ina, kaya pala na diverticulitis na to. No, nakarma na itong hinayupak na ito. No. Sipin mo, 100 billion taon-taon para lang sa'yo. Ito yung tinatawag na SOP. Kumikitang kabahayan itong hinayupak na ito. Umupo lang sa pagkapangulo para lamang mangulimbat ng pera ng bayan. Dito na tayo ngayon. Kaya dapat itong Supreme Court, galingan po ninyo. Ipakulong dapat ang ipakulong. So ngayon, meron silang mukhang drama. Hindi natin alam kung talagang drama ho ito. Na si Romualdez at si Chis Escudero ay kakasuhan ng plunder ni Ombudsman Boying Rimulya. Sana po ay totoo. Pero sabi ni Mike Defensor, kung kakasuhan nyo po itong ng plunder si Romualdez, isama nyo po ang testimonya ni Orly Gutisa at ng 18 ex-soldiers na security details ni Saldico. Nako, mukhang may panibagong video na ilalabas itong si Saldico. Pero bago yan, pakinggan po natin si Defensor dito. Narito.
Ibang issue naman dahil alam ko narinig po ninyo bago tayo umere sa ating panayam ang mga naging soundbite natin kay kaibigan po ninyo, Ombudsman, former Congressman Boying Rimulya. Una, maghahain raw ng kaso against kay former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Anong tingin mo dyan, Kong? Nakasama niyo rin po ang dating speaker nung kayo po ay naging kongresista.
Alam mo, MJ, tama, nakasama ko si Ombudsman Boying Rimulya. And ako, nung makita ko yan, tinitingnan ko at binabasa ko, ano ba talaga yung mga magiging hakbang. Hindi ko masabi kasi dahil ang binanggit ay plunder. Pero ang aking panawagan sa aking kaibigan, si Ombudsman Rimulya, sana ito na rin yung panahon na gamitin nila yung mga testimonya ni Sergeant Gutesa. Gagamitin nila yung testimonya ng 18 Marines. Kasi ito yung magdudugtong nung binabanggit nila na plunder eh. Kung ang tingin natin ay budget lamang yung pagdudugtungan nito, kasama si Senator Chis Escudero kasi siya yung Senate President at si Speaker Martin Romualdez, hindi ko pa alam. Kasi parang kung ito'y dugtong lamang doon sa nangyaring budgeting at naging conspiracy na doon sa plunder, hindi ko masabi. Pag nakita ko na yung mismong kasong i-final nila, yan, makapagbigay ako ng opinion. Pero ang aking panawagan sa kanya, kay Ombudsman Rimulya, narinig naman niya si Sergeant Gutesa. Malinaw yung sinabi, nagdi-deliver ng pera kay Speaker Martin Romualdez. Malinaw yung binanggit na mga maleta, dinadala dun sa kanyang bahay, at pagkatapos ay i-deliver sa mga bahay ni Speaker Martin Romualdez. Meron siyang ledger, si Saldico, tungkol dito, na maaaring gamitin bilang ebidensya at mapatunayan na talagang aktual. Kasi hindi naman itong kanilang Sergeant Gutesa at itong sa 18 Marines, hindi hearsay ito. Hindi to kwento. Aktual na nakita ng mga tao nag-deliver sila ng pera at kung idudugtong mo to doon sa ebidensyang pinanghahawakan ni Saldico, malinaw Napakalinaw. At kung ito'y idudugtong na din natin doon sa mga binanggit ni Saldico, doon sa budget, at kung paano yung pag-aayos sa mga flood control, napakalinaw na talagang mabubuo nila yung kaso ng plunder. Mabubuo nila yung kaso ng delivery. Pagdating kay Senator Chis Escudero, hindi ko rin masabi yan kasi ang nagsabi naman nag-deliver ay si Undersecretary Bernardo. So ibang level sa akin yan. Hindi ko alam masyado kung ano talaga yung pinangahawakan ni Undersecretary Bernardo at kung anong ebidensyang hawak niya. Pero tama rin naman yon dahil parang may personal knowledge siya. O hindi parang, meron talaga. Nasabi niya may pinag-deliver ng tao. Pero sa lahat ng mga to, katulad na banggit at uulitin ko, kung talagang seryoso ang kaso kay Speaker Martin Romualdez, gamitin lang nila yung kay Sergeant Gotesa, gamitin nila doon sa 18 Marines. Dahil yun ang magdudugtong kay Saldico na talagang yung pera na ninakaw at sinasabi lang si Saldico nagnakaw. Ito ang mga nag-deliver at nag-deliver ng pera sa bahay ni Speaker Martin Romualdez.
Tama ka dyan, Mike Defensor, no? Kung seryoso lang, dapat gamitin ho nila. Kasi kita mo naman yung ipinakita ngayon sa Supreme Court, hindi na po ito, hindi na po normal. Itong mga taong ito, tama, sindikato talaga ang mga to. Sindikato na eh. Sipin mo yung billion-billion, trillion-trillion na unprogrammed funds pag pinagsama under Marcos admin simula 2023, 2024, 2025. Naku, dapat may managot po dito. Dapat sila po ang makulong, hindi si Vice President Inday Sara. Dapat si Bongbong Marcos ang ma-impeach, hindi po si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Sana po, Korte Suprema, maawa po kayo sa taong bayan. Husgahan na po natin ho ito. At sana meron pang mga matitinong kongresista na maglakas ng loob na dapat ma-impeach si Bongbong Marcos. Kaso paano ma-impeach? Lahat ng mga buhaya ngayon ay may busal. Taong bayan na lang po ang maghusga dito. Ayan na, Korte Suprema na po ang nagpakita ng datos na totoong si Bongbong Marcos ang pinakaswapang sa program funds at ginago po nila ang kaban ng bayan sa sandamakmak na insertion.
Paggising sa umaga, tanghali at gabi, nakikita ko ang post niya, ang hapdi. Paano nga ba to? Di ako makatanggi. Watch ko na lang at isipin ng mabuti. Bisdak Pilipinas. Bisdak, tinig ng katotohanan. Sa bawat vlog may laban sa kasinungalingan. Mulat ang mata, gising ang masa. Bisdak Pilipinas, para sa bayan, gumigising sa diwa. Sa likod ng kamera, tapang ang dala, walang sinasanto kung mali ang gawa. Hinay-hinay, pero palaban. Boses ng tao sa digital na labanan. Bisdak, tinig ng katotohanan. Sa bawat vlog may laban sa kasinungalingan. Mulat ang mata, gising ang masa. Bisdak Pilipinas, para sa bayan, gumigising sa diwa. Hindi artista, hindi politiko, pero ang katotohanan, sigaw niya ay buo. Sa YouTube o Facebook man siya makita, may aral ka pa rin, may uwi sa bawat salita. Bisdak, gising sa katotohanan. Di lang kwento, kundi panawagan. Sa bawat Pilipinong naghahanap ng liwanag. Bisdak Pilipinas, kasama sa vlog mo may pag-asa.